What are your main three influences now and when you first got into music?
Well, okay, I'm gonna start about when I first got into the music, and as far as I remember, it was 1991, and I was watching MTV. I was 8 years old, and I saw Pantera performing in Moscow, Russia, and the song "Domination," and I freaked out completely, and I thought that was the coolest thing, to for someone to do, and I felt in love with Dimebags playing and stuff like that. And at the same time that year, I was watching MTV. As I said, I was watching bands like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and Nirvana because they were huge back in 1991, and that was the beginning for me. But I became fanatic and I started buying CDs and albums in 1994. And in 1994, basically, I decided to become a musician. This was my beginning in 1994. And in the beginning, I had my heroes were bands like Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath and Manowar and Pantera and stuff like that. And a little later, I got into like bands like Iced Earth and Stratovarius. But the big revelation for me, it was when I discovered Yngwie Malmsteen in 1998, in May 1998, I discovered Yngwie Malmsteen. I was watching a TV show on ET3 channel called Monsters of Rock, and I saw Yngwie playing the song The Only One from Magnum Opus. And this was a life-changing moment for me. I decided that I have to follow this path, and I wanted to follow this path and play neoclassical guitar and stuff like that. So this was a life-changing moment for me, and at the moment, I have influences. I mean, I love many guitar players, and but if I have to pick three, I will go definitely for number one, Yngwie Malmsteen, then maybe Paul Gilbert, Uli John Roth. Those three, my top favorites. But I like many others as well. Yeah, from the mainstream scene and from the underground scene as well. So yeah, at the moment I guess that Yngwie Malmsteen, Uli John Roth and Paul Gilbert are my top three guitar players and stuff like that.
So, which three albums would you consider to be the best albums of all time if you had to choose three?
Okay, if we talk about metal music, I would pick as my number one the Yngwie Malmsteen record, The Rising Force, his first solo album, released in 1984. This was a new chapter on the guitar playing, and it took everything to the next level, and it changed the game completely. And as far as I know, back then nobody was playing guitar like that, and I'm talking about the career musicians. Nobody was playing like that, and this is absolutely one of the best albums of all time. And then number two, I would pick probably the tribute album of Ozzy Osbourne, tribute to Randy Rhoads. Randy Rhoads. This album was recorded, it's a live album. It was recorded, as far as I remember, in 1982, and it's brilliant. Till these days, his guitar playing sounds fresh and incredibly good and great. So yeah, if I have to pick album number three, I would go with Metallica, Master of Puppets, because this album was great by its time, and it still sounds great. And those three are if we talk about metal music, my top three favorite albums. Yeah.
Okay, what moment or event would you consider the most important in your musical life so far?
Yeah, maybe again when I discovered Yngwie Malmsteen in 1998, this was a life-changing moment, and then within 3 months after that I got his first 10 records, and then I was hoping that he would make more records, and he did eventually. He made many others till now, and yeah, Yngwie Malmsteen is a huge chapter for me, but I want to add that I listened to a lot of stuff, and for example, the last decade I explored other genres, but I was not serious about when I was listening to that stuff. But I did it just for relaxation and just to discover new things and to see what is trend in the music business and what people listening, the majority of the people. So I was listening the last 10 days like dance music and pop and R&B. But I would never play something like that for myself. It doesn't fit to my character and my personality. But I'm listening to a lot of stuff. But I'm fanatic about metal music, rock, and the classical music. Yeah, I love the composers and you know the third album that I'm working right now. I took stuff from Bach and Bell and what else? Vivaldi and I got a theme from Da Queen and so forth. So yeah, I love the classical composers from the Baroque era and the Romantic era. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, my big life-changing moment and the biggest thing in my life that ever happened was when I discovered Yngwie and I became fanatic about his music. And I have to add this: Yngwie is not just a great guitar player; he's also a great songwriter, and he's definitely the number one showman of all time as far as the guitar players. Yngwie Malmsteen is the coolest showman of all time.
How has your musical taste evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think I just answered this on the previous question. I'm listening to many different things just to find out, because I love listening to music. For example, if I don't play guitar one day, I would probably listen to music for at least 10 hours, and I do this very often, and I listen to everything, you know, just because the more I listen, the more fanatic I became, and I want to learn as much as possible. So throughout the years, yeah, you know, as I said, I started listening fanatically music in 1994, and I was fanatic about rock and metal and many other genres of rock and roll, subgenres, and but I was open to things. I was even listening to pop of the 80s and some disco of the 80s, which I found it really cool and stuff. But what I do play power metal or probably neoclassical power metal. This is what I play, and I think I will play this music for many more years. And I think this music is the best music as a style, is the most valuable music probably, yeah.
Okay, so which are your current plans regarding your new album? Any new videos or live shows?
Yeah, we did the second album, Neon Classical, was released in 2018. Then 4 years later was re-released by Lion Music, and unfortunately, not many things happen about the record, like shows and stuff. But we have a show this September on the 13th here in Athens. We're gonna play a show in Athens and we will play the material from the album basically. And yeah, so September 13th is gonna be the show, and then probably I'm talking with my fiance and with some people from Istanbul. We might do 2 special shows in Istanbul later on, but we haven't booked anything yet. So yeah, I want to say that this third album that I'm recording at the moment is so great, and hopefully many dates are gonna be booked and we're gonna play many shows with a third album. With a second album, I think I probably what has been done is done, and we don't have any. I'm not expecting a lot of things from the second album as far as concerts goes. Yeah.
Tell us about your current musical equipment. What are you using live and what in the studio?
Okay, I don't have many guitars. I have like in my hands like my collection right now, like 11 guitars or 12. And I have been trying many others, of course, throughout the years that I play. I do play guitar for 29 years, electric guitar. And every instrument has its own characteristics, and I like playing with different instruments. But my favorite guitars that I use on stage when I play a show or when I record are the Fender Stratocasters. Yeah, the Fender Stratocasters are my favorite. And as far as amplification goes, I usually use Marshall amps and stuff like that. Yeah, and a simple pedal board, like 4 or 5 pedals, like a distortion, MXR, and Boss delay, and chorus very simple pedal board I have, but I don't want it to be more complex. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.